Hello, how you doing? My name is Nicholas. Today's episode I want to discuss. Today is going to be more like a case study of how I do turn a simple idea into a full time, or let's say a full SaaS application or a full SaaS platform, right? Because the reason I'm discussing this is because I'm getting a lot of requests from people now that want to build a SaaS platform. They have the idea, they just don't know how to go about it. This is specifically for developers, not even clients, right? As a developer here, because I'm now having, I don't know, I think the posts I'm making on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Medium, I mean, instead of Facebook, is resonating some developers. So they are reaching out to me and like, I have this idea and I want to turn it into a SaaS. How do I go about it? Now I'm going to speak from my own perspective as somebody that has built multiple SaaS platforms for myself. Many of them did not succeed. I would be very honest with you. I'm not going to say, in fact, it's like 10% that succeeded. Out of 10, I think it's just one. Out of 20 is just two. I think currently now, I think I just have two SaaS platforms that are actually working, but I've not built up to 20 share. So maybe I will not say 10%. It's probably even less than 10% or higher. I don't know. Just do the math. So um the SaaS, right? The first thing I do when I have an idea that I want to build for a SaaS platform is to write it down. I don't mean typing it on a computer. I don't mean doing voice notes. I get my pen and my paper and I write it down. I don't know, for some reason, my brain fires up when I have that pen and paper. It fires up way more than even typing it on the system. I don't know the psychology around that. I have no idea, but I write it down. I write down how the SaaS platform is going to work, how I intend to make money from that SaaS platform. I don't think it's fully a SaaS if you don't have a pricing, if you don't have a way to make money. So for me, the pricing is the number one thing, and it has to be a monthly charge, subscription. So I'll decide um how do I make money, what is going to be the various plans. I always like to use three plans. So people like to go with more than that, but I prefer using three plans. And out of that three plans, one is free, then two is going to be paid. So basically it's two paid plans with one free plan. For all SaaS platforms I do, that is how I like it to be. I want to give them a taste of what it's like, which is why the free plan is there. Then if they want to upgrade, they can go with the second tier. If they want a much more robust system, they can go with the highest tier. So three plans. I will now document what each and all these plans are going to do. Now, I will take myself out of the writing on pen and paper, and I'll now go into my system to, pull out a structure of how I want it to uh, um, look like, or the functionalities I want each plan to do. I'll write it down on my Google Doc. Yeah. Then the next thing I do is to decide which payment method I want to use. I always like to get the payment side sorted first before any other thing, because to be honest, building SaaS is all about trying to get a subscription system. So if I'm targeting the Nigerian audience, I like to use Paystack. If the audience is beyond Nigeria but within Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, South Africa, I like to use Flutterwave. Yeah, because Flutterwave would give me the ability to do that easily, to track, and Flutterwave has more capabilities there. Now, if it is for foreign audience outside Africa, then it's Stripe. So those are the three payment methods I use. I don't think I'm using any other one. I know how to integrate other ones though, but for my SaaS platform, those three are all the payment methods I have integrated with. So if it is strictly for Nigerians, I use Paystack. If it is for Nigerians and beyond, but within Africa, I use Flutterwave. If it is outside Africa, I use Stripe. That's all. I try to keep it as simple as that. Now, I will first of all determine how I want the homepage to look like. I don't do anything except setting up the homepage. I work with the homepage first and foremost. I'll design the homepage as good as I want it to be. But the primary goal of the homepage is to let people know that this is a subscription and this is what it's going to do and this is how it's going to help you get what you want to do done. That is the primary thing I want to do with the homepage. Then after I'm done with the homepage, I set up the preliminary pages, which is about us, contact us, then the legal pages, disclaimer, terms of service, privacy policy. I set up FAQ, but I usually put my FAQ on the homepage. I don't want to put it on a separate page. Then how it works, I put it on the homepage. I'm a help center. I always like to have a help center. But I do that using WordPress on a blog. Then I have a blog and I do that using WordPress. And that is all. I don't try to complicate it in the beginning phase. Just set those ones up. And that's done. Once that's done, the next thing I do is user authentication, which consists of login, forgot password, register, and preset password. So I'll set all these 4 pages up, do the business logic, set up the authentication for them to be able to register. They get an email with a link to verify the email. We have that verified. Then they can do forgot password. They can reset their password and they can register. Once that is done, I then set up the admin portal. So people want to set up dashboard after this phase, but not me. I like to go to the admin portal next. So I set up the admin portal because I want to be able to view all the users that have registered on the platform. I need to have the ability to ban a user in case a user is trying to be troublesome, to suspend a user, I don't really like to delete anything on my database, so I don't tamper with delete. So to view a user, to create other administrators, to provide roles, which means like to put permissions. Let's say I want to add another administrator, but I don't want them to see everything as a super admin that I am. I would be able to set rules of what they should see, obviously using permissions, and attach that role to the administrator and onboard the administrator into the admin portal. Then I would also want to see fixtures, which is settings. Let's say for the pricing, I want to have in the admin the ability to change the amount of each plan, or if each plan has a certain number. Let's say, for example, in my SaaS product, draftandedit.com, I might say, okay, for this plan, let's upgrade it to 30 blog posts in a month or 40 blog posts in a month. I want to have that on the admin, the ability to moderate or move around with those numbers for the plans. Yeah. Now, once I have done that aspect, I now start working on the user dashboard. Once I set up the user dashboard, the first thing I do is to work on the sidebar menu. I set up the sidebar menu, what they should see on their sidebar. Then once I've done that, I will now set up the update profile and update password feature for them to be able to update their profile, update their password, and basically it. Then if I want to have 2FA on it, they should be able to do 2FA. So normally their settings. Then I now work on the whole SaaS issue, the whole SaaS platform, the project itself. I work on it on the user dashboard side. As I'm working on it, I'm also working on the admin portal to be able to see all the details I need to see, the audit logs, the activity to do. Once I've set that up, then I would now set up the payments, like integrate the payments into the platform. I will test it out, obviously on test mode, make sure everything is working accordingly. Enable for upgrade in case somebody wants to upgrade. Enable for downgrade in case somebody wants to downgrade. Enable for cancel in case somebody wants to cancel a subscription. I have to test all those things, make sure the payments are working fine. Obviously, payment is integrated after the feature is done, not before the feature is done, right? Then after the payments, I'll now work on the user dashboard. The dashboard that shows the overview, the matrix, the graph, bar chart, donut chart, all those good stuff. I work on all the aspects. Then I will now go to the admin, work on the matrix, which is the dashboard overview. work on all those aspects as well, and the charts and all that good stuff, and it's done. To be honest with you, yeah, sometimes all these things take me 2-3 days, highest in a week, and I'm done with the entire thing. So when building my SaaS, I don't want to build everything. I just focus on the MVP. What can I build in the in the maximum a week? It cannot take me more than a week. Sometimes I'll just sit down and lock in, and I should be done with it in a week, and I will launch it out and see if people want it. Because spending more than a week on building any SaaS product is a no-no. For me personally, for my own for my own, for my what is belongs to me as a developer. Like I said, this video is for developers, yeah. So that's basically how I set up a SaaS project or a platform. I don't want it to exceed a week. So once I launch it, I'll now start working on the marketing side and get a look and feel of how people use it, what people want. If people are using it and paying for it, and I'll put something like, what do you want? How do you want it to improve? And if I get that information, I can, work on it gradually. The more, if it's similar to other people's, then that is how I build on top of it. If not, I'm not doing any other thing on it. I'll just market it and let it do its thing. So that's basically it in a nutshell. I hope I said something that you resonate with. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.